Welcome to One New England Country Parish, Learning to Learn from History. Effective tomorrow, 14 October 2012, the Congregational Church of Easton celebrates its 250th anniversary. We become 1/4 millennium old. Getting that far demands reflection. Reflection about our role, past, present, and future, in a community of which we are the origin. That reflection means looking inward, looking outward, looking inward at internal records, yet ever looking outward at linked historical events. In the town of Easton, the county of Fairfield, the state of Connecticut, the United States of America, and the world. That enables learning to learn from history, a journey through time. The Congregational Church of Easton occupies a forward place in that journey. Getting to that place is a story in 3 parts divided: how we got forward, where we went thence, and where we are going next. Telling how we got forward comes first. For starters, Connecticut is fortunate with church records. The State Library requested during the 1920s and 30s that historic parishes submit their documents in archives. Each compliant church would receive, in exchange, bound photostatic copies for local retention. Easton accepted the call. It submitted 3 volumes, 2 in 1932 and 1 in 1948. Collectively, they embodied all official records from 1762 foundation through 1930. 3 bound photostatic equivalents being duly received, they, along with secondary materials, migrated to a historical bookcase in our main conference room. That, more or less, was the circumstance when I became church historian more than 20 years ago. The church historian role then was new. It arose from recognition that these records held dual value, in part as local government proceeding, and in part as genealogical resource. Laterally, other values arose, but at outset, these 2 seemed paramount. Church historians were asked to make the data accessible. It was a formidable task. Faced with formidable tasks, one forms a committee. That happened. The Historical Committee reviewed all 3 bound volumes. It reached an obvious conclusion. Vintage handwriting is prohibitively hard to read. Making our records accessible required a typewritten transcription. Said transcription must conform book by book, page by page, and line by line with the original. Further, there would be no editorial revisions aimed at correcting variant spelling. Likewise, grammatical construction would be left intact. 2 years later, that project was finished. Having readable type accomplished its goal. 3 advantages accrued. First, working through the transcription produced accurate results. Second, accurate results linked to handwritten originals. Third, knowing content allowed thematic analysis. Of these, this last embodies greatest value. History in traditional sense operates chronologically, as one thing after another. Interpretation arises from following sequenced events. That does not work with 634 pages of society minutes. Themes arise, but rarely from successive encounters. Instead, events years or generations apart yield best value. Themes arise, but mostly at distance. Things unsaid loom larger than things said. Weaving at distance between things said and unsaid fosters meaning. It fosters learning to learn from history. That was how we got there, to a better place, but not yet good enough. Typewritten transcription has three limitations. First, effective use is time-intensive. Answering questions demands close manual reading. Second, attention spans lapse. Things get missed. Third, time-intensiveness and lapses impede vision. They impede learning to learn from history. Our information technology needed an upgrade. Telling where we went then is next and easy. We went digital. 4 years ago, in 250th anniversary looming, typewritten transcription morphed into Microsoft Word. So did two secondary sources. The first was written as a Yale Divinity School dissertation by Reverend Herbert Hines, our 1914-16 minister. Entitled A New England Country Parish, it portrays history and character from foundation date to pre-World War I era. The second resource, entitled A Short History of the Congregational Church of Easton, Connecticut by Francis Mellon, brings the narrative forward 30 years to 1946. Connecticut is fortunate about ecclesiastical records. That fortune, enhanced, illuminates our horizon. We built our own electronic database. From that, good things flow. Full-text searching lessens drudgery, it reduces error, it speeds research. Above all, it clears vision. It enables learning to learn from history. Telling where we are going is next, and it also is easy. The next journey means casting wide. It means linking church history with external history, looking inward, looking outward. Today we do precisely that, journeying from 1762 foundation to 1930, extracting themes, building external reference, learning to learn from history. Looking inward, looking outward, all through 7 exercises linked to principal events. That journey now begins. Exercise 1, fixing the exact 250th anniversary date. There are 2 questions. Question 1, the Connecticut General Assembly recognized this parish, North Fairfield, as a distinct ecclesiastical society in October of 1762. What was the precise date so we can translate same into the 2012 calendar? Answer. Go to Book 1. Go to Menu. Select Edit Find. Enter the search term distinct. We learn that at a meeting of the General Assembly holden at New Haven on the second Thursday of October, 1762, we were recognized as a distinct ecclesiastical district. Question 2. What was the precise date of the second Thursday of October, 1762? Answer. Go to the Perpetual Calendar online at infoplease.com. It defaults to the current month, but by scrolling down to the search box, we can enter October and 1762, retrieving thereby a calendar for that month. We quickly learn that the second Thursday of October was October 14, 1762. That turns out very nice for us, since 250 years later, October 14th is a Sunday. October 14th, 2012. We become 1/4 millennium old on the Sabbath day. That was easy. Now let's go to something a little harder, not much, just a little. We can retrieve only a few facts, but looking inward, looking outward, we gain thereby larger vision. Exercise 2. Samuel Isaac Seeley and Sarah Silliman Seeley. The Easton Historical Society inquired about Samuel Isaac Seeley and Sarah Silliman Seeley, church members whose brief story traverses our early history, before, during, and after the Revolutionary War. There were 4 questions. Answers to these, along with other information, are found as we review transcription results, original handwritten records, and related documents from Ancestry.com. Question 1. External sources record their marriage date as November 22nd, 1764. Can you confirm that from church records, since they appear to have been members? Answer, yes. Searching Book 2, we must at first use a variant spelling for the surname, Seeley, S-E-L-E-Y, not with 2 E's as we now know it. If we do that, we get the right answer. Their marriage date was November 22nd, 1764. Note again the importance of preserving variant spellings and making allowance for them in search strategies. That sets one major limitation of computer searching older documents. Question number 2. Is there anything else you can tell us about the couple from church records? Yes, 2 things. First, Samuel Seeley, now spelled the modern way with 2 E's, was appointed to the school committee on November 11, 1772. A small but important fact. It means that likely they had children. Not surprising after 8 years of marriage. A second important fact emerges. 13 years later, Sarah Seeley is designated Widow Sarah Seeley at a society meeting held December 22nd, 1785. We learn that she filed a plea for tax abatement, a plea which the society formally rejects. It votes the collector's authority for court action to make her pay up. It is useful, moving down through the projected document, to examine the original handwritten records containing this information. That is why we did the transcription. Question number 3. Did Sarah Seeley's widowhood arise from her husband's presumed death based on cemetery records during the Revolutionary War battle at Ridgefield on April 27, 1777? Answer, yes. Working through the projected data from Ancestry.com, we learn much more about the couple and confirm Samuel Isaac Seeley's Revolutionary War death. First,